I'm Garvin, co-founder of TalentSTEM. Our goal is to raise awareness of STEM career opportunities and entrepreneurial ventures among diverse young people, especially African Americans and Latin Americans. We're here at the ITSMF Symposium in Charlotte. ITSMF stands for the Information Technology Senior Management Forum, and it is the premier organization for African American IT executives. We've partnered to get interviews and testimonials and some encouragement for young people who are thinking about going into IT or technology. The future really is driven by STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. If you want to be competitive, if you want to succeed, you're going to need to have knowledge and skills in those areas, even if that's not your specialty. We just want to raise awareness and encourage young people to consider that as an option, not only as an employee, but also as an entrepreneur who may be able to create that multi-million-dollar or even billion-dollar enterprise.
Director Viola Thompson.
I got my bachelor's degree in electronics engineering, and I got my MBA. And I love technology. I've always loved to tinker with computers. I've always loved to break them down and really kind of see what works inside. So that carried through, honestly, throughout the rest of my life.
I'm a second generation of college graduates on my father's side of the family. So his level was the first to go to college. And when we had Christmas dinner at my aunt's house, or Easter dinner, or Thanksgiving, the conversation was always, from the time as small as I can remember, was not if you were going to college, not when you were going to college, it was where. That was the only choice you had. You didn't have any other choices. You didn't have choice on time, anything else. And even in that conversation, there was a strong push to things like either technical or, and also in our family, it's even medical kinds of things. But the push was for the harder sciences in general.
I'm a senior director in the Office of the CIO, and my organization helps drive strategy and planning for Hewlett-Packard and our information technology organization.
One of the things I'm really interested in right now that we're having a lot of fun with is mobile technology. So we've developed some industry-leading applications that our mechanics use to get their workload, to record their accomplishments, and to sign off on the aircraft for the work that they've done to let us know that it's ready to go back into service. And that's been a lot of fun, figuring that out. How do you make sure everyone has got the same technical information at the same time? How do you make sure they've got proper connectivity, the application is usable, it's not in the way, but it's helpful. It's a pretty complex problem, and I enjoy that.
It's a very interesting story in that I really went to college thinking I was going to practice medicine full-time. That was my passion. I went to an academic university and became interested in research. And as I began to meld those two ideas, I wanted to become a research medical professor. But the research I wanted to do was on health systems, sort of the cost of healthcare, the quality in healthcare. And in order to do that, you have to acquire a lot of data.
I'm here with Viola Thompson, the Executive Director of ITSMF. We're here in Charlotte for your annual symposium. Talk to us about the objectives, the mission of your organization, and what you hope to accomplish this week.
Okay, great. Thank you. The objective and the mission of the organization is about filling the pipeline with the next generation of African American executives in the information technology industry. And how we do that is through our quarterly symposiums, like the one we're having this week, as well as continuing the professional development of our members. We have about 168 members in the organization. They represent Fortune 1000 companies, as well as not-for-profit organizations, public sector, and academia. We are very passionate about making sure that our members are prepared for their next level of advancement toward the C-suite so that we can accomplish our goal.
We're creating the leadership and mentor figures for the young individuals to see that, yes, you can make it in wonderful fields. with so much technology these days in the lives of our young kids, from cell phones to iPads and tablets, technology is becoming much more an interest to young children. And so it's now making sure we can grab them through the school age, letting them know that there's programming jobs from gaming development all the way to mobile application development. Just getting them in the pipeline is so key in the process. And then from there, showing them that there's careers and there's people that have made it all the way to the top executive levels in major companies to see that there's a way to get out of the neighborhoods and make it all the way to the corporate boardrooms.
We're all trying to find ways to help people like ourselves, because we realize that some of the talents that just totally untapped because they just never bubble up to the top. So, again, fortunately, it does mean that they have to kind of want it. And so I work with not just ITSMF, but BDPA. That's another organization that has a high school competition that begins to train and teach inner city children about the fun, the joy in IT. Because if you don't enjoy it, it's not like sports or anything like that. You're going to give up. And so we're trying to make it fun so that they're going to want to do it, and then the opportunities will come.
I'd say probably the most significant challenge was encountering folks who would say, oh, based on the way you look or based on where you come from, you probably should be a secretary, or you probably should be someone who works in that type of profession. And not that there's anything wrong with being a secretary or an administrative assistant, but to label someone and put them in a particular box based on appearance is just not the way to go. And I use that as a catalyst in my career to drive me forward. And as I mentioned, I directed myself to careers in numbers, as in accounting, and careers in technology. And it has just been a phenomenal transformation in my life. I also encourage other young folks to strive for the best. Those professions where traditionally you think you might not be able to make it, architecture, engineering, journalism, those are the things. Strive for the best, wherever your heart directs you. Again, now that's not to say if you're an artist and that's your passion as well, then do that and be the best at what you can do, and never let anyone put you in a box.
I think the good news for me is that there are lots of great individuals who've gone before me who've really laid that roadmap and made it clear that what you really do is you need to focus in on the opportunity in front of you and really deliver well on whatever service you're providing. And if you do that, it'll take you a long way.
I'll be honest with you, it's an ever-changing field, but at the same time, that's the fun part of it, right? Technology moves at the speed of light, it seems like, and it's fun to be on that cutting edge. It's fun to be on the same side that creates Facebook, that creates LinkedIn, right? That creates these new mobile devices that we use on a day-by-day basis, right? They're a part of our lives now. So take that challenge on as a personal goal to say, I do want to make this world better.
What advice would you give to young people, diverse young people in particular, high school students and college students who are still trying to figure out what they want to do in terms of their career? Do you have any advice that might encourage them to pursue a STEM career?
Absolutely. So I personally have come from very humble beginnings. And so what I would tell a child or a student is that there is no star that you cannot reach, that you have to believe and then you can achieve. I often got pushed by my mother, who told me, if not you, then who else? Why not you? Those were the kinds of things that she encouraged me throughout my lifespan to do. And so I tell these students, dream big, think big, make it happen.
Thank you, Viola.
Thank you.
Thanks, Viola.